Autun is a commune in the Saône-et-Loire department in Burgundy in eastern France. It was founded during the early Roman Empire by Emperor Augustus as Augusto-Dunum to give a Roman capital to the Gallic people Aedui, who had Bibracte as their political center. In Roman times the city could be home to 30,000 to 100,000 people according to different estimates. Early history. Augusto-Dunum was founded during the reign of the first Roman emperor, Augustus, after whom it was named. It was the tribal capital of the Celtic Aedui, who had been allies and brothers of Rome since before Julius Caesar's conquest of Gaul. Augusto-Dunum was a planned foundation replacing the original Oppidum Bibracte, located some 25 kilometers away. Several elements of Roman architecture such as walls, gates, and a Roman theatre are still visible in the town. In AD 356, Autun came under siege by a force of Alemanni. The disrepair of the walls left the city in danger of falling. Autun was saved by the arrival of the Emperor Julian in one of his early military successes. In late antiquity, Autun became famous for its schools of rhetoric. A world map based on the work of Ptolemy was famous for its size and was displayed in the portico of one of the schools. It may have survived until early modern times. The area lies in the area of Burgundy. In 725, the Umayyad general Anbasar ibn Suhaim al-Kalbi marched up the Saône valley to Autun. Autun marks the easternmost extent of the Umayyad campaign in Europe. However, the position was never retained, and Anbasar died soon after. The Umayyads are known to have raided the Lower Rhône during the next decade, but Uzes was their northernmost stronghold and possibly Marseille the easternmost coastal stronghold. In 880 the Count of Autun, Richard of Autun, became the first Duke of Burgundy. Modern times. In 1788, Talleyrand became Bishop of Autun. He was elected member of the clergy for the Estates General of 1789. The high school plays an important role in the history of the city and even France since Napoleon Bonaparte, who gave it its current name, and his brothers Joseph and Lucien have studied there. This school continues to operate today. You can admire the wrought iron gates erected in 1772. The subjects taught in this place are indicated by various representations of objects along the top of these grids. During the Franco-Prussian War of 1870, Garibaldi chose the city as its headquarters. Population. Sites. The city boasts two ancient Roman gates and other ruins dating to the time of Augustus. One of the most impressive remains is that of the ancient theatre, which was one of the largest in the western part of the empire with a 17,000-seat capacity. To the northwest of the city is the so-called Temple of Janus, only two walls of which remain. To the southeast is the mysterious Pierre de Couhard, a rock pyramid of uncertain function which may date to Roman times. Autun Cathedral, also known as St. Lazare's Cathedral, dates from the early 12th century and is a major example of Romanesque architecture. It was formerly the chapel of the Dukes of Burgundy. The palace was the actual episcopal residence. The cathedral was originally built as a pilgrimage church for the veneration of the relics of Lazarus, Lazare Daix, a Christian martyr who was Archbishop of Aix-en Provence. Autun's 12th-century bishop, Étienne de Baguet, probably built the church in response to the construction of Sainte Madeleine at nearby Vézelay, home to the French cult of Mary Magdalene. Saint Lazare was only later elevated to the rank of cathedral, replacing the former cathedral dedicated to Saint Nazaire. Autun Cathedral is famous for its architectural sculpture, particularly the tympanum of the Last Judgment above the west portal, surviving fragments from the lost portal of the north transept, and the capitals in the nave and choir. All of these are traditionally considered the work of Giselbettus, whose name is on the west tympanum. It is uncertain whether Giselbettus is the name of the sculptor or of a patron. If Giselbetis is in fact the artist, he is one of very few medieval artists whose name is known. Sculpture from Lazara tomb. Saint Lazara Cathedral. Saint Lazara Cathedral Timpan, by Giselbetis. Other notable connections. Bishop and Saint Leodegar. Nivellon I was known as Count of Autun. In the late 9th century, Charles Martel's daughter married Thierry IV, Count of Autun. According to the controversial book Holy Blood, Holy Grail, Theodoric was declared a king by the Carolingians, and his son was Saint William of Gelone. In the late 9th century, the countship was vacant after the death of Robert the Strong, but was returned to Bernard Plantarpilosa, son of Bernard of Septimania, and then later to Bernard of Gothia, Count of Barcelona, after Bernard fell out of favour. In 878, King Louis the Younger took the countship away and gave it to his chamberlain, Theodoric Honorius of Autun. Napoleon I's foreign minister Charles Maurice de Talleyrand-Périgord was a sometime bishop of Autun. Nicholas Raulin, Chancellor of Burgundy under Philip the Good, came from Autun, where several examples of his artistic patronage can be seen. The Raulin Madonna, by Jan van Eyck, in the Louvre, shows what was probably at least intended as a view of Autun in the background. In 1837, a commercial mining of oil shale deposit near Autun marked the beginning of the modern oil shale industry. In 1852, the uranium mineral autunite was first discovered near Autun, and named for the town. James Salter's 1967 novel, A Sport and a Pastime, is set mainly in Autun. The European Triathlon Championships were also held in the town in 2006. The fifth stage of the 2007 Tour de France ended in the town, with the entrance to Autun being a twisting and winding route down from a nearby mountain. Tourism. In South Burgundy, you can see the Arboretum de Pézanine, one of the richest forest collection in France, the Rock of Solutre, the Cluny Abbey, and its medieval city, Carolles, and the Boeuf Charolais, Macon, Paray-le-Monial. Sister cities. Autun has sister city relationships with the following municipalities: